it's Mike. Welcome to Looking for Gold. Today we're in Walhalla, South Carolina at the LDMA Oconee property. We're going to try out the pyramid pan. I tried it at the house just to see and it looks really fantastic. So I can't wait to get it in the creek and find lots and lots of gold. I'm still waiting on my 7-ounce nugget. We'll show you what we got in a second. Alright, I got the pyramid pan and 2 gallons of mud. So let's see just how fast I can get through this mud with this pyramid pan. That's about half of it. Alright, all the gold's in the bottom now, so those top rocks are easy to just screen right out. There's nothing in that gravel. So, here's what I'm left with. I wish it was that easy to dig. Well, the beautiful thing about this pan is I can keep going, leave that in there, and keep digging, run through a little bit more material, then pop the cap out and see what I got. So it's perfect for sampling. I'll show you what I get if I find anything. Actually, let me show you where we're digging. If the creek is dropping lots of rocks right here, it has to be dropping the gold as well. So we're test panning. We're testing this area right here at the head of this pile of rocks. Okay, it doesn't look like any gold in our first sample hole. So the reason why we stopped sampling there was because the initial premise was that all these rocks had piled up on this bank because this is where as the creek floods, it's dropping the large rocks right here, and that's a good premise. The only problem is as we went down, we didn't find any other layer. It was just silt and silt and more silt. So we stopped sampling there because if there's a flood coming through here, wouldn't it be churning the bottom up? Wouldn't the bottom be churning up? And why would silt deposit there? I don't believe it would. So this isn't a good spot, even though it looks like it is. So we're gonna move up the river now. Our buddy Jim's down the creek. We met him at the goldadventures.biz forum, and he's down the creek. Let's go check in on him and see if he's finding any. So we're trying here at the tail end of a gravel bar on the inside edge. As you can see, water's moving faster out there, slower in here, so we're going to try here. Okay, I just want to tell you how impressed I am with the pyramid pan, because imagine going into a national forest where they allow panning, so you can have a pan and a shovel and a bucket, that's it. Well, you and I both know that you can't move very much material with just a pan, but you can with a pyramid pan. Actually, I'm going about twice as fast as Shelly, and she's sluicing. So I think you should watch again just how fast you can move through material. We've been working a hole to sample it to see if there's anything there. What we need to do is to be able to move as much material as possible so that we get a good test. And if we don't find anything, then we'll move on. But if we do, we stay there and we dig. Well, what's the easiest way to move as much material as possible? It would be if you didn't have to classify the material. That's the beautiful thing about the pyramid pan. Now, if you did classify the material, it would probably work so much better. But you can roll through the material without having to classify. I almost feel bad about saying this because I don't want, people to think, wow, now there's a pan out there where you can go faster than a sluice. But there is a pan out there that you can go faster with a sluice. Let me just show you. So watch how fast I can move through 2 gallons of material. And notice I'm not classifying it. Now I'm ready to put more in. Well, you can see the hole, and out of that hole, about an hour, I've been panning with the pyramid pan. And so we're done. We're about ready to pack up, because even though it's about 3 o'clock, there's a mountain right here and the sun is like right above the mountain and it's about to get dark here. but I just want you to see the black sands.
Wow.
Have you ever seen that much black sands from panning for an hour? So hopefully there's gold in here. If not, I can melt it down and make a knife or something. I mean, I'm really impressed with the pyramid pan. I moved through a lot of material with that. And like I said, think about taking that into a national forest where you can only pan. I think Dennis the Fossicker really created a nice pan. He calls it a production pan. Yeah, it is. It is. So we're going to take this back. We'll show you. We're going to pan it at the house. But there is a hole on this property that someone dug that they say has a nice pay layer. We're going to stop there and see what we can do. At this property, for some reason, they decided to dig a hole here. And they say that on the top of that cream colored layer, there's a gold layer. So we're all fixing to go down in there and get us a little dirt and go across the way and pan it out, see if we can get anything. Well, we had a great time at the LDMA Oconee property, and I learned two very important things. The first thing was basics, foundational, that I should have remembered a long time ago, and this is one thing that everybody needs to remember, so never forget the basics of gold prospecting. The first thing is, what's the history of the creek? There was a point where Jim came up and was talking to me, and I was like, so Jim, what's the extent of this property? And he said, oh, I think they told me it goes all the way up to the dam. Well, that would have been nice to know before I started prospecting. So everything I said about when it floods through here, blah, 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 yeah, it doesn't flood through there anymore. So really, I would have been like, okay, 100 years ago when it flooded through here. But really, so then what that means is those cobbles that were up on the side of the bank, those could have been done 10 years ago from some other prospector who was pitching them up there. So that's another important lesson, you know? Find out the history of the area that you're in and the history of that creek. The second thing I learned is that pyramid pan is really good. I mean, I really was moving more material than I do with a sluice. And because number one, I wasn't having to classify, but number two, even classified material, I'm not able to get, move through that fast, because here in the East Coast, a lot of the creeks we go to are just that. They're creeks. They're, got like 4 inches of water in them, and they're moving just really slow. I can't move a lot of material because you can't get a good setup on your sluice in order to move that much material. So for my purposes, that pyramid pan just works wonders. And think of it too, when you go into the national forest where they've told us, Cherokee National Forest, they say you can only pan, you can only have a shovel and a pan. Well, with a shovel and that pan, I can still move a lot of material and find some good gold, because other people can't move a lot of material with a pan. So for me, I think it works really well, and 5 stars in my book. So anyway, here's what we got, and thanks for watching. Remember, stay tuned, we'll keep looking for gold.